So these are frames that I got for my, I guess you call them like mini paintings. They're 8 by 10 inch. Hold on a second. Speaking of frames, you guys, Shanna just came in with this amazing frame. Tell the people.
So, it's an Australian business called Mulberry, and they're based down south, I think, Melbourne. Mulberry, check them out. Link's going to be right there.
Do you want this job? Hi, recently I've had a lot of comments from you lovely people saying how much you love the colors that I use in my paintings, commenting on my color combinations, the color theory that I use, and I really appreciate it, and that makes me feel all warm inside, so thank you so much. I'm actually going to leave a link in the description below to the video that I have watched a number of times now talking about color theory. I've found it really helpful in my art practice, and maybe you will too, because color theory is a really essential part of creating art, I think, anyway. So thanks so much for leaving really nice comments. I appreciate it. Also, here I thought I had my mic on and I didn't. Basically all I'm saying is I'm gonna put these pictures on the wall. Also, if you didn't know, pretty much all of my original art is for sale. If you see an artwork that you like, you can have a look on my website and maybe it'll be there. If it's not there, please feel free to reach out to me, send me an email or a message, because sometimes I have them available, they're just not on my website. And if it is available, I would be so happy for it to find a new home. So these are, I think, 30 by 40 centimeter frames. These are the last 4 that are gonna go before Sydney. So I'm gonna take them out the frame and prep the canvases. What I like to do with my modeling paste is, like, show you my face. I like to look at my design and kind of build the modeling paste around where the focal point's going to be, create texture in different areas, so I kind of base it off of my reference. I don't really know why I prefer the textured canvas. I think maybe it's because I like the way that when I add paint and background layers, I like the way that the paint kind of just sits over the texture and creates interesting patterns and stuff. But I also just definitely do not like the texture of canvas. This month has been a really strange month for me. First off, I'm super excited because my painting that you would have seen in last month's vlog is now an exhibition. Opening night was a blast. It's here in Cairns, the Tanks Art Centre in Cairns, which is super cool. But because I've been so focused on creating art for the other art fair, I haven't really had time to focus on my business, quote unquote. So in terms of making money as a full-time artist, the past month has been really quiet. And I think that is just literally because I have put my head down and I've just done nothing besides just paint. Isn't it funny, sometimes it feels like you have to take one step back and then like 2 steps forward, and it's easy to forget all these awesome things that are happening. And like, I mean, this is a childhood dream of mine to have my art in an art gallery. So yeah, it's just easy to forget that things are pretty good actually. Last year, I painted my first ever mural, and it was at Redlanch State School, which is just around the corner from where my mum lives, and she works there also. That's probably part of the reason why I got the gig, but yeah, I painted my first ever mural, and they asked me back to create a banner of that same design to use for their sort of Anzac ceremonies and memorial ceremonies that they have. And I think potentially there is going to be the mural done again because they have a primary and secondary campus. So I think I've done one on the primary campus, and then they wanted to ask me back to do one on the secondary campus, but we're just waiting to hear back about that. But yeah, so anyway, this is what this mural is going to be. It's 2 by 4 meters, so it's pretty big. And I'm working on the floor right now, but I really need to kind of put it up somewhere to do the rest of the artwork, but I want to just get a nice smooth blended background first. So we're going to work on the floor, and then we'll maybe move on to like a fence or something. Okay, when I did my first mural last year, I used this technique, and I had so many people commenting, asking me to do a tutorial about how it works. I'm not going to do a tutorial, but I will just explain what I'm doing. This is called the doodle method. So basically I'm just doodling, like I'm just doodling onto this canvas. And what I'm then going to do is take a photo of the full canvas with the doodle, and then I'm going to overlay my design onto that. So then essentially when I'm sketching out my design, I'm looking at the little shapes and lines that I've doodled, and I can match them up to where the outline of my design is. It's kind of really similar to a grid method, if you've ever used a grid method before, but instead of a grid, I'm using these funky little shapes and lines. So that is how it works. It's super handy if you're going to be doing something big, there's something that's a little bit more difficult to freehand that you want to get spot on. So yeah, I found this really helpful the first time I tried it, and so I went ahead and used it again for this banner design. One thing I will say is that it is only useful if you're planning on painting the whole canvas or the whole wall. If you're planning on leaving any of the wall exposed, and like then your doodle will just be there, you're not going to paint over it, like then it's not really that useful. So anyway, that's this banner all finished. I just need to deliver it to Redlanch College. Today I'm going to go through and varnish a bunch of these paintings, check them to make sure that they look okay and that everything is perfect, and then pop them in their frames. I'm also meeting a lovely lady who has bought an artwork, which is really exciting. And so, because I was clever when I unframed these, hold on, and I marked the number 1. So now this number 1 is going to just screw perfectly back on in here. Amazing. Número 2. Bet you didn't know I could speak Spanish. Perfect. I really like this one. I think it's cute. The other thing that, I don't know if you can tell, but so basically these 2 frames are from a different company. I basically needed canvases to paint like ASAP, so I bought these. They are decent quality, but they're not quite as good quality as these beautiful frames here, so I hope it's not too obvious when they're going to be on display that they're different. You know, let me know, maybe you can tell me if they're really different or not. Someone just bought a painting here in the gallery. So exciting. Hello. Thank you. There's pretty much only like 1.5 weeks left of April, but because I've been so busy painting other art fair stuff, and then now I haven't really painted for like 2 weeks because I've just been doing framing and that. Now I'm desperate to paint, so I'm going to start a new painting. One thing that I wanted to tell you about is that we are actually going to be driving to Sydney from Cairns. If you're not familiar with the size of Australia, it's going to take us probably 3 days of driving for 10 hours each day to get to Sydney. So it's pretty intense. The point is, it's going to take us 3 days. It's going to be boring, right? I thought, what can I do to break up the drive? And then I was like, hold on, 3 days? I have these 3 mini paintings that I did a little while ago, and I was like, oh my God, I am going to hide a little mini painting somewhere in like a popular tourist destination and a popular roadside attraction with a little like note in the back, and it's like free art, have a great day. So I'm going to hide it, someone can find it, and then hopefully it'll make them feel nice, you know? I'll show you the paintings. There's this one, then there's this little koi fish and another little butterfly. So yeah, that's the idea. And I don't know, I just think it'll be nice, and I'll share it on my like Instagram and my TikTok. I doubt like anyone who actually follows me will find it because most of my followers are from the US. That doesn't really matter. If some random stranger finds it, cool, that'll be nice. You might be able to help me as well, because I don't really know what to do for next month's vlog, my May vlog, because there's going to be so much happening in the first part of the month with the art fair. I was considering making it like a art fair vlog, and then like the rest of May, I've got a lot of other things going on that I'm really excited to share with you. So I was thinking maybe just make like May vlog, but May vlog doesn't include art fair, or maybe just like briefly some brief snapshots. You know what I mean? What do you think about that? Anywho, I'm just talking to myself because not many people watch my videos. By the way, there's a bunch of footage that I did not use in this vlog, so I'm going to play it now with some funky music, so stick around.